Hello, everybody. My name is Lee Geiger, and it's time for another edition of The Marginal Prophet. Before I begin, let me wish all those fathers out there a happy Father's Day. I know I'll be spending mine on my sofa watching the U.S. Open Golf Tournament, where all I ask of my family is that they give me a full, unobstructed view of the television set. I'm very easy to please. Today's quote is from Augustine Burroughs, and it goes something like this. I myself am made entirely of flaws, stitched together with good intentions. And you might say, why did I pick that one? Well, I think you'll understand when I finish the story. My story today is about two events that took place 5 years ago today, shortly before Father's Day, that forever changed the view of how I looked at the world. And the first event happened on a Friday at 4 o'clock when I got a phone call from Mississippi informing me that my father, who had been ill, had suddenly passed away. And then, literally 1 hour later, my son Ross graduated from high school. And you might say, well, how are those two interrelated? Well, that's what I'm about to tell you. Shortly after getting that call, I'm sitting in the bleachers with the pretty blonde, waiting for the procession to begin, when she leans over and asks me, are we going to your dad's funeral? And you have to understand what was going on at that time in June 2009. The stock market had bottomed, but my kids' college saving account was still worth only half what it was the year before. My year-long journey down the entrepreneurial path had mercifully ended, and I had done a real butchering of my savings account. I was at Pensera Securities, which I'd only been there for a couple of months, and though the job was awesome and I was having a great time, the firm was very much living a hand-to-mouth existence. And finally, Ross was going to be leaving in a few months to attend Brown University, and the thought of an empty chair at the dinner table was really tugging at my soul. So that was a difficult time. So as I'm pondering the pretty blonde's question, are we going to your dad's funeral? I could tell that she was very concerned, and for a lot of reasons, but also we were scheduled to leave in just 2 days for a European vacation that she had spent a year planning, and an impromptu trip to Mississippi just wasn't in the cards. In fact, it was a deal killer. So with all this going on, tuition bills coming, job security non-existent, a vacation that could get, family-long vacation that could get interrupted, I had to clarify, focus, and really prioritize where I was. And Dad's funeral really brought everything to focus. And after pondering her question, I looked at her and said, no, we're not. And then she looked at me again, being who she is, and she says, are you sure? What about your family? And honestly, it didn't take any time at all. I mean, I came up with an answer faster than a Google search for Geiger billionaires. And I said, my family's here. Now, how did I arrive at that conclusion? And to answer that, I'm going to read a little bit from today's posting on leegeiger.com. So bear with me, I'm going to go straight to the glass. And it goes something like this. I love my father. But Dad's definition of family was different than mine. He grew up in rural Mississippi during the Great Depression, where every mouth in the house was viewed as an obligation and not a blessing. In his world of poverty and world war, when it came to family survival, all hands were on deck. It didn't really matter who you were, it mattered what you were. When Dad had his own family, he carried these traits to us. In our family, Dad viewed himself as management and his 5 kids as labor. He didn't have, nor did he make, the time to really get to know us. And the truth is I don't really fault him for that, but that's just the way he was wired. So getting back to that time, I did not attend my dad's funeral. I rationalized my absence by paying for it. Of my 3 surviving brothers, none of them went as well. And the truth is as I look back on it now, with 5 years of hindsight, it's actually sad. In fact, it's actually pathetic that not one of my father's children came to wish him goodbye. And the truth is as I look back, Dad did the best that he could, the only way he knew how. And the truth is simple: he deserved better. So here I am 5 years later, and where am I now? Father's Day 2014. The truth is I'm committed to knowing my children, Ross and Keith. I am fascinated by watching them grow, and watching them develop, and watching them evolve and mature. Nothing brings me greater happiness. Just as important, though, is I want my boys to know about me. Yes, I'm their father, and yes, I help raise them, but I'm human. I've made a ton of mistakes. I've exercised very poor judgment, and too often I put my nose in places that it shouldn't be. But that's not going to change the fact that I'm going to love them forever, no matter how they live, where they live, or what they do. They're my children. I'm going to love them till the day I die. But all I ask is that I hope they come to my funeral. That's today's edition of The Marginal Prophet. Happy Father's Day, everybody out there. And I'll have another story for you again real soon. Take care.